All right, welcome back to LiveWire. This is Ray, and with me is...
It's Peter, man. What's up?
So, yeah, it's just another day, another weekend. 3 great movies. Well, no, 3 big movies.
3 big movies, and if we don't count the 2 other films that are in select theaters, which would be Sicario and Pawn Sacrifice.
I know.
You got the 3 main movies this weekend being what?
Well, we got Maze Runner.
Mm-hmm.
We got Everest. And then we got that Black Mass, that Johnny Depp comeback. Mm-hmm. That's the big mama of the weekend that everybody's talking about. Mm-hmm. So why don't we go in first with the Maze Runner?
I know you've seen the main 3 ones, and I only saw Black Mass, so I can only be along the ride for one. Let's rock with the first.
You know what?
Let's get those out of the way. So, I'd like to hear your take on both of them, to be honest, because I know that the first Maze Runner you actually liked, and you
liked a lot.
And I remember when I saw the trailer, and I was like, I just don't want another Twilight mixed in with Hunger Games. It's exactly what it looked like. And you'd be surprised on what you see, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, like this is good. This is like a sci-fi Lord of the Flies. So
you know what, and it always comes to my mind like that book, and I always forget the title. I'll be like, it reminds me of this book we read in high school.
It's like basically you remember the fat kid with the glasses
and the conch
and
they raping the little pig. What?
I don't know
with the stick, right?
Oh yeah, there's the pig head. Yeah, They have it on a stick.
So the Maze Runner, the original one is a lot of fun.
I like that one. That was pretty good.
It was fun.
Pretty good young cast, cast that I may have seen in a couple of movies. Some were practically new faces.
There's a kid from Love Actually, and they're the little kid that played Liam Neeson's son in Love Actually. He's in there.
Oh, yeah,
he's also from Game of Thrones.
He was also in. Was it the same cat that was from Nowhere Boy?
Nowhere Boy.
He played, Lennon.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he's good.
Yeah, he's a really good actor, a good young actor.
And then we also had the star of that film. It's Dylan O'Brien is his name. Dylan O'Brien. He comes from, the first time I saw him was that MTV show Teen Wolf. He was in the Teen Wolf show.
I don't watch any of that, but
nah, please don't.
Okay. I thought you were gonna cue me in. This is a pivotal role that I must tell you about, and the reason why he's in this movie.
No, none of that shit up in there.
Give me the details of Teen Wolf, please.
I remember watching the first season, and I was like, please, God, no.
You got me giddy like a high school.
I heard it got better after the first season. I've only seen the first season, and that was enough to push me away. I heard it got better from then on, but it didn't. So yeah, the Maze Runner was, about Dylan O'Brien's Thomas stuck in this world where, kind of like Lord of the Flies, he just wakes up, doesn't remember where he's from, but it's in this little community that's trapped surrounded by a maze. A lot of people, it was a big hit, so they made a sequel really fast. The movie came out last year. It's been exactly a year, and the second one already came out. And if you haven't seen,
how it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot in demand. We got it now.
You know that it has a core base, fan base.
I think it's more we better get rid of it fast because people might forget. There's so many of these young adult movies coming out, with the sci-fi dystopian. Because it really, to be honest with you, Brad, it's really just another Hunger Games, just another Divergent. The thing that
but better film adaptations than.
I would say better than Divergent, most definitely. I don't know about Hunger. I think Hunger Games is still at the top.
I enjoyed the last 2 Hunger Games.
Right. No, all three have been good.
Yeah, the first one was pretty good. It was solid.
It was definitely solid. Yeah, but the second one
rave and ran about it, but
I think it's better than the third one though. That's for sure. The third one was just filler.
You didn't like it?
In the Hunger Games, I thought the
part
third
one
was
Mockingjay.
Yeah, filler, just filler.
Bro, be honest, I was along with it, and then I'm just waiting. I'm act like I read these books. I didn't read these books. My wife read the books, and I think my wife reads all the novels. She likes the young adult fiction novels, the sci-fi, the love stories, but I was really hooked on it since the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like the third one too, and I can't wait till part 2 comes out. But
serious, no, it's good. It's good. It's definitely the higher echelon of all these, like Divergent, Maze Runner, The Giver, all those, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Maze Runner comes at a close second.
Mm-hmm.
Now here comes the Scorch Trials, and if you haven't seen the first one, then you're gonna feel very, very lost with the second one, because it picks up right after the first one, right after the events of the first one. It picks up, and Thomas and his crew are in this new facility. They think they're safe, but out of nowhere, we got this guy that's in charge, and all I know him as Littlefinger. From Game of Thrones, you know that dude, Littlefinger?
That Snake. He usually plays bad guy, I think, right?
Yeah, man, and he, you look at him and you already know. He's like, we're gonna take care of you. Everything's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And even Dylan O'Brien was like, I don't like this. One thing leads to another. They know that things aren't as what they seem, and they have to get out.
Open this door, Jason!
You really don't want me to.
Open the damn door!
Listen to me! Trying to save your life. The maze is one thing, but you kids wouldn't last one day out in the scorch. If the elements don't kill you, the cranks will. Thomas, you have to believe me. I only want what's best for you.
Yeah, let me guess. Wicked is good?
You're not getting through that door, Thomas.
Come on! Thomas! Come on, let's go!
Shut the main vault door! Shut the main vault door!
They have to get out, and they have to go and find another resistance. Sounds familiar. Sounds like Divergent and all that shit. You know, like find a resistance to fight back and find a cure. Now, the first one had a lot of very thriller type elements and a lot of horror type elements, and this one's no different. Now, the first one had those giant robotic spider monsters, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this one switches that up a little bit. We don't have giant spider monsters. We have zombies. Mm-hmm. We have zombies, and
kind of like a I Am Legend.
You know what? It's exactly like I Am Legend. Like the storyline of like the post-apocalyptic world is literally just like I Am Legend, and the zombies look a little like in between of the 28 Days Later and the I Am Legend type, like a little in between. You know, like they look like those CGI creatures, but
28 Days Later looks like humans just with red eyes,
and no, but this one
CGI'd I Am Legend just CGI'd up. You know,
right, and one of the things I always appreciated about the Maze Runner is like they really try to go for the gritty, and in this one is no different. They, you know, there's a part where they're like in the middle of nowhere in some barracks looking around, and they only got flashlights. Next thing you know, a little girl like, you know, and like she has her eyes gouged out and her face just full of blood, and I was just like, this is really like for the kids.
Dang.
Like, my girl was...
That PG-13, like, they really...
yeah. My girl was freaking out. She said, oh my God, this is scary.
Well, the filmmaker probably fought the MPAA real quick with that one.
You know what? I have to say, a lot of this movie, I was very, like, I was just questioning the rating. I was just like, this is really rated PG-13? Because it really goes for the jugular. And I like that. I like that.
Good evening. This is the World Catastrophe Kill Zone Department. We have your compound surrounded.
Brenda, come on. I got it. Come on. Go. Come on, hurry. We're running out of time. Here, follow me. Come on.
Get right where you are. Go, we need him.
I hate it when like they sugarcoat it when you know it's a PG-13 movie and you know this films are gonna include violence or like zombies. How are you gonna have a zombie movie without blood? Like, don't give me that. True. Like you shoot them and then the blood's not there, or they pan off screen and you don't see the violence. It's like off screen violence.
What movie did that? I know that Warm Bodies did that, but that was like a comedy.
But that was almost like a romantic comedy / horror film, kinda.
I know there's something.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. They're just these cookie cutter like films that are about like zombies or post-apocalyptic settings that feature these like dire, desperate like characters, and you know that there's gonna be some tension and conflict, and for those type of films, like you really need like the grit, and it's like I hate when they have like it's PG-13, so you don't see any violence.
No, that's true, and let me tell you, you won't be disappointed with this movie then.
I'm about to go to the movie theaters right now. I'm not this weekend. I got paydays this Friday.
Fox gonna love me, bro.
I'm gonna go see the Scorch Trials. Sounds pretty good so far, bro.
Yeah, no, and
I'll let you finish.
No, it's good, and the intensity. That's one of the things. It's directed by Wes Ball. All I know from him is these Maze Runner movies, but he knows how to direct thrilling action sequences. And this movie, it's called Maze Runner, and you know damn well why, because throughout 80% of this film, this motherfucker is running for his life. And it's really thrilling, and it's a lot of fun. Now, the storyline goes into like this area where it's like, I like the first one because it was a little different than the Divergence and stuff, and in this movie it brings it back to that kind of post-apocalyptic utopian world where like the government, the rich government are the bad guys, the poor are trying to revolt and rise against. It's the same old, and it really disappointed me when we find out that the story is just turning back to the same old, because like you're taking out the freshness out of the movie. You're taking out, and this movie is literally it's a bit of a step down from the first one because of that storyline. And
it sounded like a bunch of promise. What happened?
It's the story. The story just and it drags a little bit, and it kind of goes a little to the same areas that those other young adult novel movies do. And like down to the same technique. Like in Divergent, they had Kate Winslet, and they had
Which, by the way, I love me some Kate Winslet, but to be honest, she did not help that film series. I hated her. Even I didn't see the second one.
Oh, you
haven't? I just didn't like her from the jump. Like it was just like pale and stagnant movement. She just like delivering her lines like, when am I gonna get paid? Like it just felt like she was going through the motions in that film. Like, Kate, baby, I know you got all Academy Award nominations. What are you doing in this film?
Get him paid, baby. Get him paid, baby. Paying the rent.
She's won an Academy Award.
I think she won for The Reader.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Kate Winslet, like Hunger Games had Donald Sutherland, Elizabeth Banks. Woody Harrelson, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Now Divergent had Kate Winslet, Octavia Spencer, Naomi Watts, Ashley Judd, and
oh shoot, I didn't see the second one.
And coming to the third one is Jeff Daniels. Now this one has
the new cast. What was
has Patricia Clarkson back as the bad guy.
I really like Patricia Clarkson.
Yeah, she was in the first one for like a half a second. No, now she expands more in the role.
Oh, you're right. At the end, right?
Yeah, so she comes back a little bit more. We got this time Barry Pepper as one of the leaders of the resistance. He needs that word, boy. Yeah. We got Lily Taylor as the doctor of the new resistance. We got Giancarlo Esposito. You know Giancarlo Esposito?
Yeah, he's like in like
that guy.
Early joints and whatnot.
Yeah, he plays one of these guys they meet along the way that is at first an enemy but then becomes a friend.
Do you ever get the feeling the whole world's against you? 3 questions. Where did you come from? Where are you going?
Don't all answer at once.
Ready for the mountains. Looking for the right arm.
You're looking for ghosts, you mean? Question number 2. Where did you come from?
That's our business.
Hey! Get the hell off me! Get the hell off me, man!
Shut up, you big baby.
What is that?
You were right.
Right about what? What is she talking about?
I'm sorry, hermano. Looks like you're tagged. You came from Wicked. Which means you're very valuable.
And then there's also Alan Tudyk. And then we were talking about, you couldn't remember this guy. This guy, you don't remember?
Is that the guy from Dodgeball?
Yes. Yes.
The pirate.
Yeah. Yes, the pirate motherfucker. Yeah, he makes a little appearance too. Now, there's one thing about this movie that I have to stop and rave about. Now, 2 things. One is I'm a huge Dylan O'Brien fan from these movies. I think he has a lot of intensity, has a lot of talent. He can carry a movie on his back, and from what I hear, he does his own stunts, and the movie shows. And it gives the movie a more edge of your seat kind of feel that, you know, he's really trying to be like the next Tom Cruise.
I was about to say, Tom Cruise in the making, right?
Right, and I like that. Another thing that I like is this girl. I've never seen her before. Her name is Rosa Salazar. She plays Brenda. She plays this girl. Oh, shit, she was in Divergent, too? Yeah, dang, you gotta get paid. Well, like, she plays this girl named Brenda, who they meet along the way and becomes... She's kind of like the Sarah Connor of the crew. She's like the Furiosa of the crew. She, you know, she don't give a damn. She kill motherfuckers left and right. You know what I mean? But she also got that swagger in the heart of gold.
You know what's funny is, like, every time we, like, review, like, action films specifically, you're always like Sarah Connor types. It's like, is that like, is Sarah Connor is she like literally the epitome? Is she like the staple for just like strong, independent heroine?
Yes.
In your eyes.
Yes.
So when you see a girl kick ass, it's like, man, Sarah Connor.
It's between her and Ripley from Aliens.
Okay.
Like, between those two.
You don't drop Ripley as much. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
maybe because
Ripley,
you watch Terminator more.
Yeah. No, I was more of a try. I was too scared with Aliens.
No,
so
I get it. Aliens was a little bit before time too.
But it was just scary. Like, it was just, I remember they re-released it and shit when we were in high school. I was, oof.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. But this Rosa Salazar, she's a girl that we need to look out for. I think she's going to be very interesting to watch. Now,
so I'm like, really like, we're going to get down to the rating, right? Like,
yeah, I
have no idea whether you loved this film or you hated this film.
Look, I'm going to go with the quick pros and quick cons.
Okay.
The pros, the acting is fun. The action scenes are even more fun. The Rosa Salazar is a big highlight for me. I love, her and the great chemistry her and Dylan O'Brien had. And the movie actually has a couple of unexpected twists that I really enjoyed. I was like, oh, I like where this is going, especially in the third act. Now, those are my pros. Cons, the storyline goes straight back to Divergent territory. That I don't like Divergent. Divergent, I think, is the bottom of these young adult films. So, like, when you go in, you should strive for Hunger Games quality, or strive to be your own thing. Don't mimic. Don't mimic these two, because it's getting to the point where Dylan O'Brien could be just running through and he'll bump into Shailene Woodley, and they'll start running into the next corner and they'll bump into Katniss Everdeen. Like, it's starting to be the same old, and why should I care? There's nothing special if it's the same old. That's one thing. The dialogue in this movie gets pretty hokey sometimes. Since he's running so much, like the dialogue seriously becomes into nothing but like go 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 go, come on, okay, follow me. I'm like, it goes without saying, motherfucker. Like it goes without saying.
They're coming. Where do we go? Ready? Help! Hurry! Come on. Go!
The first automatic brake. All R-16 personnel, non-lethal force only.
Come on. No. Thomas!
That's really like my main
I got
concerns.
one more question before we go to the next film. Pro or con? Barry Pepper's beard, though.
God, it's so fucking. That shit is so fucking grimy.
I think you mentioned something about Barry Pepper's beard, like it was just an aside from Barry Pepper, the man himself, the actor.
Right.
Pro or con? Real quick.
Super pro, bro.
All right.
Super pro, bro.
I just wanted to lay that on the table.
Oh my god. You know, it's almost like, because I used to think Barry Pepper, who wants to watch this guy act back in those knockaround days?
Whoa. You know, he was pretty good. It was a small role, but he really knew how to welt those tears in the Green Mile. I don't know if you remember this.
You know what? That's right. The Green Mile.
You know, he was like the lesser of the guards, you know, like, but he was the one that had heart. And when Michael Clark Duncan, John Coffey's character, gets lit up, you know, he was just like, man, he was balling like nobody's business.
That's true. And
then he did Battlefield Earth, and I was like, oh man.
That's why we haven't seen him recently.
We lost you know, for a little bit, but I'm glad he's back. Like I enjoy, to be honest, like I think every time Barry Pepper pops up in a film, I'm like, oh shit, it's Barry Pepper. Like I remember this guy was gonna be a star.
I get excited. And he's good. Okay. He's good, but he's literally his screen time is so limited that, you know, like, not much of an impact is done. Dylan O'Brien and the young cast are the stars of the show. You know,
rating. What's up? Let's go.
I'm gonna have to go with a 2.5, and it's because everything is going so well, and then like the story being so lame and going through the same old motions that it's just not special, and it kind of disappointed me more than anything. But I say 2.5 because everything else is so much fun. I still think that it's better than Divergent. I think it's definitely worth watching, and I really hope. Because I would say I give the first Maze Runner a 3.5. Okay. You know, and I would really hope that the third Maze Runner really picks it up back again. You know, puts it right where it needs to be, and shows that this is kind of like the underdog of young adult novels. You know, and I really hope. But the Maze Runner 2 is actually the Scorch Trials.
This was like last week's The Visit for you, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like it had.
The momentum was so good, and
then the story kind of drags it down. Yeah, exactly.
I feel you, bro.
So we're gonna go with 2.5 on that one.
All right. What's next?
Next is a movie that came out. It was supposed to come out worldwide, but it didn't. They actually decided to just release it for IMAX exclusive this week.
So you can't see this film without paying the big bucks of IMAX.
This week.
IMAX
this
3D.
Week. IMAX 3D this week, and it's Everest.
Okay.
I forgot what this director's name is. Balthasar Kormacor or something. Balthasar Kormacor.
What's the resume?
Contraband.
Ooh.
2 Guns.
Man.
You know, I was so surprised.
At the helm.
I was so surprised. Like, how come Mark Wahlberg ain't in this movie? You know, like, did they have a falling out? I don't know what it is. But this movie is based on a true story that happened in 1996 or 1995, around there. And it's a very tragic thing.
Ooh, I'm just looking at this cast. Kill him, Jason Clarke. Kill him, Josh Brolin.
Oh, yeah.
John Hawkes. Robin Wright. Emily Watson. Keira Knightley. Sam Worthington. Ended off with my motherfucking man, Jake Gyllenhaal, man. How can this movie go wrong? Did it go wrong? Did you love it?
Well, let me go in. Let me go in.
Go in, because, man, I want to go see this now. Like, oh, man.
So, but before we go into the technicalities and the cast and stuff, we got to go with the story.
Okay.
It's between two expedition groups. It's Adventure Consulting, which is Jason Clarke's, and Mountain Madness, which is Jake Gyllenhaal's expedition. And they don't get along very well. They kind of clash. Pretty much, they just get rich white people to the Mount Everest.
Say there's no color in this.
No. The only color we see here is white, and it's because it's all right.
White is all right, and it's already white as the driven snow.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
So we had to keep it that way.
Okay, I guess so.
We had to keep it that way. You don't want.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. We ended the Obama administration. I figure we have at least a token, black. But give me a Hispanic. Hell, I'll take an Asian. What's going on?
It's just the fact that. Well, actually, no. Now that you mention that, there is an Asian woman. There's
okay,
a woman.
At least I'll take that as diversity.
Woman.
Diversify.
Right. And it's May 1996. These two expeditions, among other expeditions, get these group of people to Mount Everest.
Those of you who dare face their dreams, Venture Consultants offers something beyond the power of words to describe. And why don't we describe it in the brochure? Because it's mostly just pain.
Yes. Ain't that the truth?
Put it simply, guys, human beings simply aren't built to function at the cruising altitude of a 747. Okay, once we get above here, above the South Col, our bodies will be literally dying, and I mean literally dying. It's not called the death zone for nothing, guys. So the game is, can we get you up to the top and down to the bottom before that happens?
And things don't go so as far as, they don't go as planned for neither one of them. Mm-hmm. And pretty much the majority of them passed away. Mm. Very gruesome and haunting deaths. That it's almost, it's hard for me to say it's tragic. Because
do you have no soul? Do you have no heart? This is based on a true event. These people risk their lives, and you're saying it's not about. It's the fact that these people didn't risk their lives for anything other than the fact that they just wanted to climb a mountain. And in the beginning of the movie, Jason Clarke, it's amiable though. I mean, come on.
Jason Clarke tells them, the human body is not meant to survive these conditions. So when you reach a certain point, your body's literally slowly dying. And these people, some of them are there just because they can. Others are there because they feel like this is their calling. Other people are there because they're journalists writing a report on it.
Yeah, I see Michael Kelly played a journalist.
Yeah, he's the one that wrote the book. Yeah, he's the one that wrote the book, Michael Kelly.
It hurts. It's dangerous. It destroys relationships. It's costing you all a small fortune.
Are there any negative aspects to this?
I gotta ask the question. I do. Why?
Why?
Because it's there!
That's why. Thank you, Mr. Mallory.
Come on, guys. I'm serious. Doug. Why?
Come on, tell them about the kids.
What?
Tell them about the kids.
Yeah, who's kids?
You have kids?
Yeah, I have kids. So I was thinking maybe it's, they see a regular guy can, follow impossible dreams. Maybe they'll be inspired to do the same, I guess.
This movie...
John Hawkes plays a mailman.
Yes, John
dope.
Hawkes. John Hawkes is actually the most you feel for in this cast. Because everybody else, especially like the character of Josh Brolin, that he plays Beck, and he's like this Texas businessman, and he's all about Texas, and he lets everybody know, hey boy, I'm from Texas, and Texas goes hard, and it goes hard in the paint, and when push comes to shove, shit goes down, he's one of those people that can't hang. Mm-hmm. He can't hang. I'm not trying to say that he dies or he doesn't. That he dies or he doesn't die. But no, it's just like his body can't hang. You know, because there's a process to this. They don't just go up to Mount Everest. The movie doesn't just... It's not an all-out thrill.
Top of Everest.
It's not an all-out thrill ride.
Okay.
This movie is a slow build to the event. So they're being trained to climatize to the event. You know, and once it's time, they tell you, look, if you can do it, stay close. If you can't, you got to go back. I don't care. It's all about security. It's all about safety. Now, the difference between Jason Clarke's team and Jake Gyllenhaal's team is Jason Clarke, he likes to make sure that everybody's safe, everybody's secure. Jake Gyllenhaal says, fuck that. If you can't hang, don't be here. If you can't hang, let's go. Let's roll. I don't give a fuck.
Are these ladders going to take 2?
Yeah, I'll get a rope. I'll belay you, okay?
Just stay right where you are,
Can't pull myself up!
I'm going to come out to you.
Okay.
Good, Beck. Okay.
Whoa.
Got it for you. Right, tie me in, Scott. Tie me in.
Come and get me!
On belay?
Got it. On belay.
Let's go. Right, I'm coming out to you, Beck. Here I come, mate. Nice and easy. You're tied in, Nate.
I can't feel my hands.
Looking good.
Grab me.
Beck.
Grab me.
Stay right where you are, mate.
I can't pull myself up. I can't pull myself up.
I got you. You okay?
There's no guarantees of the summit. I get it. But to get killed because I'm waiting in line like I'm in freaking Walmart.
You know, and
he's like, I'm getting on top of that mountain whether y'all die or not.
Yeah, and
it's a good day to
and
die.
Then pretty much, unfortunate things happen. So many people, it becomes almost like a tourist attraction. It's not like what it was meant to, like what it used to be at this point, like to climb Mount Everest. Like out of nowhere, all these rich white people throw their money to have these expeditions take them. That they all have a time schedule to get up to the mountain, but apparently since there's so many, it kills their time. So they start losing time. You know, next thing you know, the storm comes and just makes all their lives a living hell. So that's pretty much the basics of the story. Now, the biggest problem that I have with this movie is that it's hard for me to feel any emotions other than the regular human emotions that I have of watching other people die. Nobody wants to see other people die, you know? But it's hard for me to feel compassionate when you've been giving your warnings and you know what's at risk and you still go. Just cause. It's not like you have to. It's just that, hey, why not? And there's a scene where Josh Brolin barely hangs on and he almost falls, and he screams out to Jason Clarke's character, like, I didn't pay you $65,000, you know, for me to just bitch out. And I was just like, you paid $65,000 for your fucking death? Like, you know, it's kind of like bullshit to me. And you know how I said this movie's very like a slow build. It's a slow burn of a movie. This movie, it's almost like the events of this movie to me don't feel very cinematic. You know, like the tension is very realistic and very, you know, heart-wrenching when things happen. But as a film, you don't really feel any sense of excitement or tension. I really just felt emotionless through most of this film as I'm watching these people die. Because there's no sense of grandeur. I don't know if this director was just going for such a real feel of, you know, like a reality feel to this film rather than a more cinematic feel. But for a movie that's supposed to be like a big time IMAX 3D adventure that they're all like promoting it to be like, whoa, you got to see this in the IMAX 3D. It's kind of boring. It's kind of slow. It's kind of boring. And because it was hard for me to feel anything for these characters because you don't really get to know much about them. Like, you only get this one moment where, like, oh yeah, John Hawkes was a mailman, and he's the one you feel most compassionate for. You know, because
he's like the average Joe.
Yeah, because like they had to
check out all of their occupations. I see Josh Brolin's a doctor, one's a journalist. Well,
yeah, and he's the mailman. Like that, they had to give him a discount.
I mean, it's great pension, but I mean, it's not a high paying job.
Right, they had to give him a discount, and he asked for like his children's schools to help him like get money to go to this expedition, just so he can inspire his children. You know that any regular guy can do like the impossible.
I'm a mailman. I'm gonna go on Mount Everest. Like,
right.
No, I'm not leaving you behind, Doug. Come on.
Gotta rest.
No, Doug, come on with me. I need 10 good minutes, Doug. Come on. Please, Dickie, come on, mate. 10 minutes. We get to the bottom of the step. Oh, this leg, Dickie. Come on. Come on. There we go. Where are you? No. Come on, Doggy! Dog, let's go! Hurry up!
That's really all, all it takes for this movie, or all it takes an effort to make these people humanized. The females, the women in this film, completely sidelined. I'm really surprised that this movie got the cast that it got,
because it's an all-star cast.
It's an all-star cast that could match up the cast of, say, Black Mass.
Yeah,
it can go toe to toe. But it's very... They don't use them.
No one's utilized.
No one's really utilized.
Keira Knightley plays a pregnant wife. Is she in this movie?
Keira Knightley is in the movie maybe about 7 minutes. Robin Wright plays Josh Brolin's wife, and she's in the movie about 6 minutes. The Asian woman... I'm
starting to see a pattern here. About
the Asian woman is in the movie. Like, she's in the crusade with them. I can only think of 14, 15 minutes that I saw her in the movie.
Okay.
Like, this movie is all macho, all man, and it's just slow. It's just slow. Now, the technical aspect of the movie, I will admit, I felt like I was fucking there. Like, it did.
Was the 3D amazing?
The 3D was top notch. Everything, like the technical aspect of it was amazing. I really felt like I was there. And it really gave a shiver on my spine when certain things were happening. It really did. Not enough, but it really did. Now, this movie, once it reaches the storm, it's just grim. It's not like exciting grim. It's just grim. It's almost like, well, here are these people. This is what happened. Boom. The end. And then you don't get any moment to really sympathize with these characters, because again, they walked into their own certain deaths. Like, how am I supposed to feel sorry for you? Like, if you keep doing, if you choose to do that. Like, it's not like it's unfortunate because nobody expected it to happen. The cast is good. The cast is formidable. I say that the cast is mostly wasted, though. Jake Gyllenhaal, I feel like he was mostly wasted. And when you have Jake Gyllenhaal in a hot streak, you don't waste Jake Gyllenhaal.
He was the sixth man.
Jason
backburner.
Jason Clarke is definitely the star of the show. And he's backed by a strong cast. I think Jason Clarke was like the best thing in the film. Very toned down, a very heartwarming performance compared to his other work that we've seen from him recently. Josh Brolin, like, his dynamic with John Hawkes was very strong, and I think his performance, like his moments, were the most inspiring out of the whole film for me personally.
Man, he got two good big movies though this weekend.
Yeah, and they both did extremely well in the box office.
Yeah, I heard this one broke records as far as IMAX film.
Yeah,
which was held by one of the Resident Evil films.
Right, exactly. It was, and Sicario held it down because it was only
being limited theaters.
5 theaters, and it broke a record or something. So, you know, good for Josh Brolin, and he's definitely one of the high points in this movie.
The way you're describing this film, I feel not only is this movie grim, but the rating that you're going to give the next film that we're going to be reviewing.
Well, the
way you're talking about this film almost makes me feel like I'm going to see a pattern in the next.
Let me go to the main point.
Let's go ahead. Well, yeah.
We'll go down to the rating. Let me go down to the rating. Pros to this movie. Fun, like, great cast, even if it's underused, great cast. I mean, you are seeing a lot of people, I mean, from Sam Worthington to people you haven't seen in a long time. Like, remember Martin Henderson?
No.
Torque?
Was it the main guy?
Yeah.
White dude?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, he's in there. I was like, what? Martin Henderson?
Yeah.
I literally haven't seen you since Smoking Aces. You know? Now, and the movie visually, it definitely needs to be seen. If you're gonna see this movie, don't go for the 2D. Don't even go for the regular 3D. Go for the IMAX 3D. That's the only way. That's the only way this movie needs to be seen.
So
if you're gonna see it,
it's big on visuals. So on the technical aspect, you recommend seeing this?
Highly recommend it because it's.
An experience.
It is an experience. Now it's a lackluster, a cinematically lackluster experience, but on a technical aspect, it's an experience.
It doesn't sound fulfilling enough for me to pay that.
It isn't. It isn't. It's hard for me to really feel sorry for these characters, especially people like the characters like Jake Gyllenhaal, Scott Fisher, or Beck Weathers played by Josh Brolin. You know, like where. They were just being stupid. They were being fools. I don't want to tell you what happens to them. Watch the movie to find out, you know. But it's almost like, you know. I walked out of the theater feeling empty. Like feeling just, like I had no opinion. Like my opinion was just like, ouch. You know, like I didn't even like, wow.
How unfortunate.
Yeah, it was just like, ouch. Well, you know, and because of that, this movie could have been like a Titanic, you know, like a mass catastrophe that the story sweeps you and everything. This movie didn't. Now, because of the good cast and the great visuals and stuff, I'm going to give this movie a solid 2.
Okay.
A solid 2. Now, again, I say, don't watch this in 2D. Don't watch this on HBO. Don't watch this on Netflix. Don't, you know, go for the IMAX 3D. It's really the only way to go for these kind of movies, you know?
You've got to come on down.
There's no oxygen. You go. I'm done. No, I'm not leaving you behind. Come on.
It's gonna take all we got.
We're all getting down together. Now let's go.
If anyone can make it, you can.